We ended chapter 4 with a very pertinent question. Even if this world is a dream, let us assume that it is a dream. What is the problem in living in this dream? If you are having such a wonderful life, then what is the problem? Let me enjoy this dream. This is such a lovely dream. Why should I try to wake up? So, chapter 4, the lovely dream is not all that lovely. The objects of the senses, wine and women, delicious food, amazing views on a great vacation, the lovely hospitality in resorts and restaurants, lovely clothes, thousands of social media likes and appreciation. These can never permanently satisfy us. Material and sense pleasures are unreal and temporary. Let me show you why they are trouble and not a pleasure. Number one, the effort to collect. There is great hard work, stress, and mental anxiety, and even humiliation in collecting money and material objects. How much effort does it take to achieve a small material gadget? You work like a slave to fulfill your desires. You buy a house, but you will not be satisfied. Then you work for a car, then you will work for a bigger house, bigger car, then you will work for investments, taking out loans all the time. The cycle of materialistic collection and hence the slavery will never end. Look at those poor people who don't even get food. The entire day they work in the sun and rain just to earn a few rupees to have some food. But they have to do this labor to obtain material things. Similar is true for a government, private employee, or even CEOs. They work day and night, even when sick. Everyone has their struggles. In fact, it is a cumulative effort. One demand leads to next. In school, I read a story in Punjabi called Boot Di Shararat. So that's a very hilarious story in which a person buys very good looking shoes, and just to match up those shoes, he needs to wear a very good trousers and coat, and then he goes in the social circle with good people, and there his life goes on a downward spiral. He has a compulsion to get more and more materialist things. On the other hand, just being oneself is so easy and free of cost. If you just decide you do not want that iPhone, how much money, effort, and time would that save you? I'm not suggesting to let everything go and become a monk. All that's implied is leave the hankering after the material things and do your duty with honesty and efficiency. Money is unwanted side effect of good work. Number 2, maintenance. So once you have gathered all the attractive objects in your pleasant and lovely abode, including your car and reputation, it is even more stressful to maintain them. Whether it is money, health, or reputation, a person has to maintain the initial hard work and stress just to sustain that previous lifestyle. So in today's world, it works like all or none. Either you work very hard in your profession or you don't work. There is no scope for the middle people. There is no life for the average guys. You have to keep up the original effort and more to maintain your material achievements. I know this better than anyone. So when I got admitted to MBBS, I had an all India rank in the top 100. My reputation was very good in front of everyone. So in the first year of MBBS, I fell into bad company and was on the verge of failing my exam. At that time, I was praying, "Oh God, please help me, or I will lose everything. Let me pass this exam this one time. Next time, I will work hard." It was a lesson for life that it is a bigger task to maintain your material possessions and reputation after achieving them. You can lose anytime. Number 3 is the effort to enjoy. So even if you have achieved and maintained the sense objects, you will need healthy sense organs to enjoy them. You need a healthy body, a great physique. So how many trips to the hospital, gym, cosmetologist, and doctor are required just to enjoy the sense objects? Obviously, you can enjoy the sense objects only if you have a healthy body. Your senses must be in perfect state to enjoy the fruits of your hard work. So there will be a time when your body will be old and frail. You will be unable to use your sense organs. Eyes will be weak, hearing will be lost, even swallowing muscles they become weak. You may have erectile dysfunction. The desire for sex will burn in the heart, but the body will be too weak. I have seen many such old men who have sexual urges even at the age of 78, but their body will not cooperate. They will have a erectile dysfunction and they will keep on taking Viagra's and other stuff. The body won't be fit enough to enjoy the exploits of your hard work. Then what will you do? Will you tolerate the sexual urge? No other option. Then why don't you tolerate that urge now? Why don't you control that urge now? Eventually, you have to control that urge. Number four, sickness due to indulgence. Look at those super rich people who have become sick while indulging in wine, alcohol, and beautiful women. They get diabetes and become obese. Many become drug addicts. Many go into depression. When I was doing my MD in Ludhiana, so I had a very rich friend who had inherited agricultural land and he had multiple restaurants. He was filthy rich, but every evening he would call me, let's hang out, let's hang out. But since I was very busy in my MD, I would refuse him. So at that time, I realized that a guy may be very rich, but still he was dependent on me for his fun and enjoyment. He later fell into depression. How much alcohol and women can you enjoy? How much? How many clubs and vacations you can visit? There is dissatisfaction in all of this in after some time. Only truly rich people they can understand the limitations of money. Fifth problem, senses will shroud yourself. Sense activity drags you away from your true self, deeper and deeper into the dream. This is more of a problem from a spiritual aspect than a practical one. But it is crucial because this is what matters at the end of the day. Knowledge comes in three types: sense knowledge, Indriya Janit Gyan, it is generated through the sense organs; brain knowledge, mental knowledge, or Buddhi Janit Gyan, which is generated through the brain; and self knowledge is Atma Gyan. Sense knowledge can be very misleading. You see a mirage and you see a water, but that is totally false knowledge collected by eyes because the senses are creating an illusion. The sense knowledge is not always right. Many times it is just fake. You see a dream with a cow flying in it. It wasn't seen through any sense, right? You don't need any senses to see your dream, but you create it in your mind. So that is a mental knowledge. But that dream is also not correct knowledge, right? There is actually no cow flying in the air, but your mind created it and experienced this false experience. So Buddhi Janat Gyan may also be false. However, Atm Gyan can never be false. Do you ever have any doubt about your own self? Sixth problem with the sense things. In the world, we achieve things one after the other, not once and for all. So, whatever things we achieve back to back. So, we work hard and hustle, then achieve a milestone. Then we start another pursuit, then another. We get a good home, finish the loan, then we get a car, finish the car loan, then we have kids, education, and then their marriage, and so on. So this keeps on and on until we die or we get wise. But when you wake up to reality, you realize that all these happenings around me, they are just a dream. Then all the achievements are gained instantly and comprehensively, once and for all. So only with this awakening, it is possible that you may get all your objectives in an instant. So this is a very powerful state to achieve. Seventh problem with the sense objects is that the pleasure is not in the sense objects per se. If the pleasure were in the sense objects, everyone would love the same thing, the same classical music, the same food, same hobbies, same person, same friends. But obviously, it is not like that. Everyone doesn't like the same thing. So, pleasure is in the self, not in the object. Pleasure is always inside us. So, suppose a person is having an orgasm in a dream. Where did that pleasure come from? There was no other human or even activity taking place. But the pleasure was as good as real. That pleasure comes from inside. Pleasure doesn't need an outside object. There is a source of bliss deep inside us, which is both hard and equally easy to achieve. The seat of pleasure is the self. In outward things, all we get is just a tiny reflection of the inner pleasure. Eighth problem with sense objects is the sense pleasures they lose in the face of a misery. Suppose Rajesh likes gulab jamun very much. He's crazy about gulab jamun. He would never miss it, eating it, no matter what. That's what he claims. Now, he got three gulab jamuns in front of him and he's ready to eat. Just then, he gets a phone call. Rajesh, your mom and dad, they had an accident. They are in the hospital emergency. So, would Rajesh still want to enjoy the three gulab jamuns? No. He would leave behind his desire for gulab jamun and run for his parents. So, is this what these sense objects are worth? So, sense objects they lose their importance in an instant whenever they are confronted by misery. Ninth problem with sense objects. It's an ancient saying in India that others are loved for the sake of self. You don't love any random child, you love your own child. A husband loves a woman as a wife, not because she is a person. He loves her because she is his wife. Before marriage, if the same girl is hit by a car, he won't be worried that much. But after marriage, the same girl is hit by a car, then she is very dear to him. He is very worried about her. Once the feeling of mine enters, then only the objects become dear. Then only the objects become dear. A billionaire has a private jet, but that gives me no pleasure because it's not mine. Without self or mine, nothing is dear or loved. Once you expand your identity to your real self, everything becomes yours. Because in my dream, all the people are me only. I just have to lose my identity to this particular person. If I'm able to do that, then everything in the dream is me. Even the billionaire in my dream is me. Billionaire's Bugatti is also mine. Problem number 10 with sense objects. Life seems long, but actually it's very short and ephemeral. We may think that our life is very long and stable. Let us collect these sense objects, we will enjoy them for our life. But go back to our dream analogy. In a dream of 2 hours, we can experience a life of 50 years or travel to vast spaces. So it means that the during that time of awakening, We feel that it is a very long phase, but it is actually very short. It might be just a few seconds or few minutes. We feel this entire universe. Time is relative. 11th problem with sense objects. There are few pleasures in life, but there are countless troubles. Let's count the pleasures you can enjoy: family, health, holidays, wine, sex, compliments, friends' company. Now count the number of troubles you can get into: COVID, cancer, paralysis, dementia, stroke, legal case if you hit someone on the road, loss of business, a tree falls on your head, lightning strike, an earthquake destroys your home, loss of reputation, you are cheated, you are laid off, a mortgage pending, a family member bedridden. The list is endless. Now, if you truly count the pleasures which you can feel in this world and count the sufferings which you might have, then the sufferings will far outweigh the number of pleasures. What are the pleasures which we have? Some people may have alcohol, some people may have a good vacation, they may like to play some sport. Hardly 7 or 10 things in the life which people enjoy. Just check the morning newspaper and compare the bad and good news. It's actually true that bad things are more frequent and have a more variety than good events. Anytime, any bad thing can happen out of the blue. Life can change in an instant, rarely for good, but usually for the worse. Good things they take effort to get, always. Bad things just come uninvited to topsy turvy our world. Ask yourself, what is it that you have not already enjoyed? You have money, you have freedom, you have cars, you have a girlfriend, watched movies, amazing food, amazing sex. So, what did you get? Are you satisfied? If you are so satisfied, then what are you doing here? Reading this book or running after the next pursuit? Are you misery ready for the future? Are you unhappiness proof? Is there one such pleasure that does not give you guilt? Is there one such pleasure that does not make you weak? One such pleasure which does not make you sad and miserable? You know that sense objects can never satisfy. Same alcohol, same wine, women, same music, same company, same situations. It's just a repetition again and again. As the gladiator asked the filthy crowd, are you not entertained? Are we not entertained still? This is a long chapter, so I would continue this chapter in the next sitting.